What is up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, whatever day it is that you're tuning in, welcome back. Today, we got a special topic. I don't want to say special because it's pretty heavy of a topic, but we're going to talk about homelessness. Okay, so I was scrolling through YouTube about, I want to say a week ago, and I ran across this video, and it was titled The Other Millennials. So, the crazy thing about it was in this video, the video was about two people who who basically chose to be homeless because they didn't want to acclimate in society. They felt like paying bills and being a responsible adult was a waste of time. And it got me to thinking. Now, there's two sides. Maybe there's more than two sides to being or becoming homeless. But to be honest, it's easier these days to become homeless than it was back in the day. Um, Society feels that, I guess, homeless people are either lazy or drug addicts. One of the two. Some kind of way, shape, or form, they ruin their own lives. This is why they're homeless. And, you know, I've heard older people say things like, oh, don't give no money to them. They probably just gonna go buy drugs or beer or whatever. And it got me to thinking, why is that stigma why is that stigma so constant? Now, granted, there are people who are homeless and who are fine with it, and they would rather not be responsible for themselves as adults. And, that's a percentage. But there's also people who are homeless due to mental illness, maybe they're mentally retarded, and both of their caregivers, parents or whatever, died, and they had nowhere to go, and they ended up homeless. Or the economy's been crap for the past, I want to say, 20 years, and it's been a downhill climb since then. I believe, honestly, that everybody is maybe a paycheck or two away from being homeless if they don't concentrate and deal with their finances correctly. I myself have been homeless twice. And I mean, if you count me living at my mother's house, you can say I'm technically homeless now because this is not my house. I don't have any authority here. If she decides to say get the hell out, I will be living in my vehicle. So it's not right to say that homeless people all the time choose that life. Granted, yes, there are a percentage of people who are homeless because they can't get their shit together and they have not grasped adult life and, done what they were supposed to do with it. But there's a bigger majority of people who are homeless because of economic uncertainties as well as just circumstances. So, I mean, I got a few statistics because this kind of had my little wheels turning. So, there were a couple of videos basically about the millennials, which is my generation. And there was a study, and it compared the 25 to 34-year-olds of 1989, and it compared the 2013 25 to 34-year-olds. And there was a higher rate of Student debt. The pay wages were drastically lower in comparison to inflation and cost of living. Um, and it's just a lot of things that were mounted against the 2013 millennials, young people, I'll say. And it got me to thinking that it's not necessarily a fault of anyone's. It's the economy. It's the pay wages and it's just it's pretty ridiculous how the financial stuff is set up these days. Um, the unemployment in 2008 was actually lower, and right now it's the unemployment rate is about 40%. So that kind of shows you that things are kind of like against us in a sense. So it's kind of annoying when I would watch these videos, because it got me, the black tube of this black hole of YouTube. You get on one video, and then in a matter of an hour you've watched 30 videos. A lot of these videos wanted to blame the millennials for being lazy and privileged and just self-centered, and it was a lot of crazy accusations, and I thought it was just my mother or that generation just being, grumpy older people. But it was something that I was constantly seeing. I was like, okay, so this is a trend. This is how they feel about us. Yeah, so tuition seems to be the biggest reoccurring factor. Student debt, loans, and things of that nature are drowning us. So, I'm gonna just get right into it. When I moved out for the first time, the idea originally was for me, my girl at the time, and a friend of ours to split rent 3 ways, get an apartment, split rent 3 ways, and just kind of do the start off college and do the adulting thing together. We felt, we had the idea of strength in numbers. We were like, okay, I don't want to do this by myself. You don't want to do this by yourself. Let's just join forces and figure it out together. So we thought. I left. My girl came to California. She got her ticket and came here. And my friend, who I graduated from high school with, was like, okay, we're still searching for apartments, but my mom says it's okay if you two stay with us for a little bit until we find a place. It shouldn't be hard, it shouldn't take more than a month. I'm applying like crazy. You have a job, meaning me. She can apply. We can all be working by the end of the month. Teenage ambition, right? So this is the year after graduation. So that's 2006. No, 2 years after graduation, 2007. And so we decide to try moving and adulting. So we go to my friend's house, and we're cool for a couple of days. I don't know if we made it a week, but something happened, and my friend decided that she didn't want to move out anymore. So she picked a fight with us. I don't even remember what the fight was, but to make a long story short, we got out of her mama's apartment and we lived in my car. my girl and I. And we stayed over that whole course of that year. We lived in the car. In between that, we rented a room, I think, in 2 or 3 different houses. I don't remember. I believe it was 3. Anyway, I was still employed, but I was a homeless person. I want to say that I was 21. I think I'm almost certain that I was 21. Going on 22. That's right. So, yeah. I've never had a drug problem. I never got into any drugs. I never had an alcohol problem. I may have had a couple of drinks by that time in my life, but I never drank more than one drink at a time, and I had never been drunk. I still, to this day at 32, I've never been drunk before. I pretty much stop at 2. So, I say all that just to say that homelessness, aside from the people in that video, is not necessarily a choice. Sometimes it just happens to you. How you choose to take responsibility for things is a reflection, a direct reflection of how the future will be, if that makes any sense. So, yes, we were homeless. We made it work. I worked hard. I did my job. She got her parents to help because she wasn't able to work. It was an international thing. I'll get into that story later with her permission. But yeah, so it was a lot. It was a lot going on, but we got through it, and we grew stronger as individuals, as adults, because life was not easy. And trust me, my family was not helpful at all. They were not present in my life. They basically shunned me for being gay and moving out. And to this day, my mother still makes comments of, well, you decided to leave me versus you moved out, you started your life. It's a constant battle. But, I just wanted to kind of shed light on this situation, and I feel that the next time I will encourage you guys this. Next time you see or encounter a homeless person, do what you can. Give them $1, give them $2, buy them some chips, and you'll feel better. Because at the end of the day, we never know what someone's going through. And I think that will be my positive note to leave you on at this for this video. Because I didn't want to say too much, but I did want to kind of touch on this subject. So, if you stood in and hung in with me for this short video, I appreciate it. And again, in the comments, just kind of share with me your experiences if you have any, or your thoughts or ideas, or whatever. So, until next time, thanks for listening.